I'm here with Justin McGowan, the recently appointed CEO of TIQ, Trade Investment Queensland. Great to see you again, Justin. How are you?
Thanks, Lawrence. Great to be here.
Now, I want to talk to you about a few things, but really importantly about the Taste of Tropical Queensland that's taken place recently up in Cairns. Can you tell us a little bit about that program and why it was so important?
Sure. Taste of Tropical Queensland is just one example of what we do here at Trade Investment Queensland. A real opportunity to get buyers and exporters exposure to particular markets. There's one clear agenda we have here in Queensland, and it's to take our product to the world, but also bring buyers to Queensland, bring Queensland to the world. So we hosted an event in Cairns. We leveraged our global network of 18 offices around the world and had 80 buyers come in, and we matched them with 32 exhibitors. So some great produce that comes out of far north Queensland that's quite unique. And in a very accelerated way, getting the buyers together over a number of days, it was highly successful. Fantastic.
And looking at that agenda and some of the categories, we had avocados, seafood, and a very interactive approach where you had the opportunity for those buyers to not just see the product and do a tasting, but actually see some of the facilities for themselves.
I think Australia's got a really good brand, secure, clean, green produce, good regulatory controls, and that's certainly highlighted in Queensland, in particular far north Queensland. And we find getting the buyers to go out to the farms, from a horticulture, agriculture perspective, actually talking to the producer really instills that confidence, as opposed to hearing from a trade investment arm like Queensland, to go and talk to the guys that are growing this and making this stuff, and that really gives confidence. And the amount of deals that have been done through that process, this is the 4th iteration of a Taste of Queensland event we've had, and they've yielded over $18 million worth of results, for these opportunities, and we find that format works really well.
Great. I think you're right. The stories behind the growers and the producers themselves, some of them have got some beautiful stories around the history about why they've created those products in the first place, and the farms behind.
And they're so incredibly proud of what they produce. And I think that enthusiasm is infectious, right? And so we had, buyers from Israel, we had buyers from China, we had buyers from Hong Kong, Thailand, Malaysia, the GCC, so the Middle East, all different chains of supermarkets coming out and really getting swept up in this, and the amount of orders that we hope that come out of that is going to be a really good outcome for far north Queensland.
Congratulations. One of the things I want to ask you about Queensland and the other states, you're ideally positioned for that whole APAC region, especially a lot of these fresh seafood. The supply chain aspect is really critical, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I think our proximity to Asia and Southeast Asia is a real differentiator for us, and the fact we've got a tropical offering, which the rest of the country doesn't really have. So that fresh produce, we even export live fish. The lobster industry up there is incredible, but also the Atherton tablelands, all of the fresh produce from there, to be able to get that out quickly and offer that to supermarkets in Asia in a short period of time is something that they're looking for.
100%. Now, I think there's going to be some great results out of that, and obviously it's an ongoing program. Tell us about, you've come back from having fantastic positions overseas, and you've seen firsthand with Expo 2020 what the rest of the world's doing. What would you like to see as your vision for TIQ as part of your leadership?
So from my perspective, you're right. I had the unique opportunity to see how Australia does business, other countries, but each of our states within Australia, how they operate, and really bring those learnings back to Queensland. I think, when you think of Queensland at the moment, the amount of economic activity and the growth story that's happening in Queensland right now, this is in part why I took the job. 100,000 Australians moved from southern states to Queensland last year for very good reason. My vision is that we can take Queensland exporters and seek investment to the next level. So I want us to be the premier trade investment attraction agency in the country. We've got great staff, we've got great reach, we've got great partnerships. My vision is that we certainly help with the economic prosperity of Queensland, and it's how we do that. We do that in a way, in an enduring way, where we're developing global relationships, we're leveraging our federal government counterparts, working closely with Austrade and DFAT and others to really have that trajectory that takes us through to 2032. So everything in Queensland at the moment is about 2032, building towards the Olympics, and we'll leverage all those major global events to get us there, to get the best outcome for Queensland.
It's a perfect runway, isn't it? To really get that hype and interest and really showcase Queensland right across over the next couple of years, and as they all culminate as part of that, the Olympics will be great.
Yeah, all the eyes are on this part of the world, and it's really up to us to take the best advantage of it.
Yep. Well, I'm sure the growers, the exporters here in Queensland are really glad to see you at the helm, I should say, of TRQ. And I look forward to seeing that grow and hopefully making sure that we can showcase that to our audience as well.
Excellent. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Justin. Great to see you again.
Cheers.
Cheers.